For the past 57 years, Donald Trump has told the American people that he graduated first in his class from the Wharton School of Business in 1968.
Very, very importantly, you look at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I went to school at the Wharton School. Pennsylvania, big up. So we're doing great in Pennsylvania. I went to the great Wharton School of Finance, which really is the best school in the world for this, but that's okay. Most people agree. Hardest school to get into, I can tell you, but it's one of the great places. I think we're going to do great in Pennsylvania. I went to school in Pennsylvania, the Wharton School of Finance, and I think we're going to do fantastically there. That's the way you learned at the Wharton School of Finance. I mean, that would be the ultimate thing. Now, whether or not that works, but I did suggest it. I'm highly educated. I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I went to the Wharton School of Finance.
I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I was a very fine student.
I went to a great school, business school. The Wharton School of Finance, a great school. Going to that school is like going to the Wharton School of Finance. They didn't go to the Wharton School of Finance. They did. But you know what? They're really smart. I've also heard I was first in my class at the Wharton School of Finance. And sometimes when you hear it, you don't say anything. You just let it go. She went to the Wharton School of Finance, and she was always a great student. I said, Ivanka, are you going to do your homework? Yeah, I've already done it, Dad. And then she get A's. She went to the Wharton School of Finance, and they say she was very smart. You know, I went to a great school. I went to the Wharton School of Finance, and in that school, I met a lot of people heading industry today and over the past, very smart people. And I used to say, excuse me, I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I said, excuse me, does that mean we're not going to make things anymore? What are we going to do, buy everything like from other countries, let them have all the jobs? And those are good jobs. Those are the real great jobs. Proud of my, hey, I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I was a really good student.
I went to an Ivy League college. I was a nice student. I did very well. I'm a very intelligent person.
Everybody knows what a great school it is. Look, if I were a liberal Democrat, people would say I'm the super genius of all time.
Well, Donald Trump has said for years that he is the top student at Wharton. He said he's heard he's the top student at Wharton. Whenever people have questioned his intellect, he's referred to getting a degree at Wharton, said it was the hardest school to get into. So essentially I wanted to see if that was true and find out what exactly happened in getting into Wharton.
Donald Trump has often pointed to his education at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School as proof of his intelligence and business skills. He's repeatedly described Wharton as one of the best business schools in the world and has used his education to compare himself with his political opponents. Over the years, another claim has been tied to those comments, that he graduated first in his class at Wharton in 1968. The issue is that no publicly available university records support that claim. Major news organizations, including the Washington Post, have looked into Trump's academic history and reported that they found no evidence he graduated first in his class or that the university ever recognized him with that honor.
Donald Trump, in his typically modest fashion, bragging in no shortage of degree about how smart he is and also his educational bona fides. But the Washington Post, they did a deep dive into his academic career, and it is not nearly as impressive as Trump would make it sound. The Post, they spoke to an admissions officer who was there at the time named James Nolan. He says the acceptance rate in 1966 was at 50%, and it was even higher for transfers like Donald Trump, who went to Fordham first. Nolan also told the Post he was not impressed with Trump's intellect. Quote, I certainly was not struck by any sense that I'm sitting before a genius, certainly not a super genius. Nolan also said, quote, it was not very difficult to get into Wharton at that time. The article also points out that Trump was not one of the top honorees at graduation, and he wasn't even on the dean's list. Plus, Trump is, of course, refusing to release his transcripts. This classic Trump.
Wharton has also stuck to its long-standing policy of not publicly releasing students' grades or class rankings, which means there's no official public record proving that Donald Trump finished first in his class. At the same time, there's also no official public record showing exactly where he ranked. That matters because, without authenticated records, neither supporters nor critics can honestly say they know his exact class standing. The conversation becomes even more interesting when you consider that Trump has often challenged other people to release their personal records. For years, he questioned President Barack Obama's educational background.
We also know that Trump tried to make a scandal out of President Obama's school records. So how uncommon is it for a president not to release their scholastic data?
Well, scholastic data is not something that typically has to be released. Some people do release it. I've done stories about candidates who've released their transcripts. It's really the onus here is on Trump. He challenged Obama in 2011 to release his college transcripts. And he said he heard, quote unquote, that Obama was a, quote, terrible student, and then he challenged him to put the records out.
He repeatedly called on Barack Obama to release more of his academic records, and critics were quick to point out what they saw as an irony. Trump has never made his own college transcripts public. The issue came up again during congressional testimony from Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney.
Donald Trump, there are some mitigating factors of his own creation that factor in here as well. He's refused to release his college transcripts. In fact, Michael Cohen testified that he threatened Trump schools with legal action if they leaked the grades.
So, having said that on Obama, and given the story we just described that I wrote about Trump, it seems fair to ask, would Trump release his own transcripts? He not only has refused to do that, but as you mentioned, his lawyer told the colleges during the campaign that they would be sued if they did release the transcripts. They have no right to release the transcripts. There was no threat they would do so. So the lawyer going to them really wasn't necessary, but it underscored how Trump didn't want those grades, for whatever reason, to get out.
Trump has often described himself as a top student while choosing not to release the academic records that could answer many of the questions surrounding his education. The topic has also become a regular source of material for late-night comedians. Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, and other hosts have repeatedly joked about Trump's claims regarding his intelligence, grades, and IQ. Their monologues are based on satire rather than investigative reporting, but they show how the subject has become part of popular culture. One of the most talked about moments came after reports that then Secretary of State Rex Tillerson allegedly referred to Trump with an insulting name. Trump responded by suggesting they compare IQ tests, saying he believed he would come out on top. That comment quickly turned into comedy material across late-night television, with hosts imagining fictional IQ scorecards and exaggerated scenarios for laughs. Those sketches were entertainment, not evidence. Another point that often comes up is Trump's academic reputation. What is not in dispute is that Trump graduated from the Wharton School in 1968 after transferring from Fordham University.
Cohen told Congress that Trump ordered him to threaten his high school to never release his grades. We all assume he failed everything. Did they invent an easy class for him or something? Okay, Donald, welcome back to our special science course, Rock or Not a Rock.
That part is well documented. The real debate isn't about whether Trump attended Wharton, it's about how strong his academic performance actually was. No verified public transcript has ever been released, no authenticated class ranking has been published by the university, and there's no official university announcement identifying Trump as valedictorian, class leader, or the top graduate in his class. Without those records, any specific claim about where he ranked should be treated with caution unless it's backed by credible evidence. In the end, it also serves as a broader reminder of why it's important to carefully evaluate public claims before accepting them as fact.
Apparently Trump's friends, who were alumni of the school and rich guys, they wanted the school superintendent to give them Trump's records. Now, the superintendent said no. He moved them elsewhere on campus. Now declines to say where he hid Trump's records. Who knows what treasures it might contain? His SATs? Maybe even his 10th grade essay, Who I Did on My Summer Vacation. He was wasting his time. I'm not undermining. I think I'm actually strengthening authority. To thank him for all that strengthening of authority, Tillerson called him a moron. This morning, Donald Trump had an answer for that too. I think it's fake news, but if he did that, I guess we'll have to compare IQ tests, and I can tell you who is going to win.
The verified records that are publicly available do not establish that Trump graduated first in his class. Unless authenticated evidence emerges that shows otherwise, that claim remains unverified, not a confirmed fact. That's why careful reporting makes a clear distinction between what's supported by documented evidence and what's simply been repeated over time. In the end, history isn't shaped by the loudest voice, it's shaped by the strongest evidence. Subscribe to America Insight News. We follow the documents, because that's the whole point. The evidence matters.